And what is up, everybody? It's your boy Pep Fernandez with an at-home edition of the Inland Sports Show. I appreciate you tuning in here on a Wednesday night. Everything is good, just a little bit of a scheduling conflict. I call some of the CBU men's and women's basketball games on ESPN+, and we've got a Wednesday night game against Grand Canyon University, so I hope you'll watch that on ESPN+, coming up at 7 p.m. But if you're watching us live and amplified, we are starting right now at 6:05 p.m. Inland Sports, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Again, we appreciate you tuning in. We will be back in the Teen Vision TV 16 studio come next week. But it's actually two parts. We wanted to do a Wednesday night show pre-recorded because not only did we have the CBU game tonight against GCU that'll be out there, but also a lot of the local teams and coaches and athletes that we wanted to get on the show this week, they were actually playing tonight, the same night that the Inland Sports Show airs because of the CIF Southern Section playoffs. We're talking about girls basketball and girls soccer playing tonight. In fact, some of the teams we're going to be talking to will be playing right now. If you're watching us live, they are on the pitch or on the court right now as we are doing the show. But we didn't want to leave them out because there's some great matchups coming up. And even though they were on Wednesday night, we wanted to make sure that we could get them in the show as well. Hope that all makes sense. All right, our first guest coming up is Natalie Mitchell from Temecula Valley High School. And Natalie went off in Temecula Valley's opening round Division I playoff game, scoring 4 of Temecula Valley's 8 goals. It was a huge 8-1 victory against Sunny Hills. The Golden Bears right now, if you're watching us live, are taking on Miracosta in the second round of the CIF Southern Section Division I playoffs. And Natalie Mitchell, again, 4 goals in that opening round win. She has 30 on the season. That is a new school record. So we had a chance to catch up and interview Natalie Mitchell from Golden Bears practice, although we were not the first ones to interview Natalie after that huge game against Sunny Hills.
Action. This is the CIF version of the Bear of the Brawls. I don't know. Do we have a new name now?
Baller of the game.
Baller of the match. Okay, yeah. Cool. We're about to interview the new record holder for most goals in the season, Natalie Mitchell.
Natalie Mitchell.
Come on.
Here she is. Look at her.
Oh,
Family. Yeah.
Okay, now, first question. Okay. How does it feel to score child 1, 2, 3, 4 goals
Right.
in one CIF
Yeah.
game?
There it is.
It feels fabulous.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Also, let me ask. How does it feel to break the school record? What's that feel like?
I feel amazing.
Oh! Yeah.
I don't have words.
All right.
That's
Back
all
to
for
the
today.
studio.
Now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. She is a goal-scoring beast for Temecula Valley, the Golden Bears. Natalie Mitchell, Temecula Valley making a run in the CIS Southern Section Division I playoffs. Natalie, first off, congrats, first-round win. And I think this is correct. Please correct me if I'm wrong. You had 4 goals in that first playoff win, and now you have 30 on the season. Is that right?
Yes, thank you. We are super excited about our first-round game.
So 4 goals. What was going right for you in that Golden Bear offense in that game?
My attacking forward and midfield was just playing off the walls. They were playing me such good balls. It was mostly them.
So how do you keep it up? How do you keep this thing going and keep stringing together a couple wins and make a run to the championship game?
We got to keep our lowerclassmen in it and just keep everybody super excited and ready to play. I think they are the reason we all want to win. We want to do it for them, and so if we just keep them engaged, it'll be worthwhile.
Now, obviously, you guys know you have a great squad, but in that first playoff win, were you guys able to maybe even build a little bit more confidence, I guess you could say, going forward through the playoffs? Do you feel like even more, confident about your championship, opportunities?
Definitely. We were the highest scoring game in the first round, so that's really nice to go into the next round knowing we put up 8 goals and the most I think anyone else scored was 3. That feels good.
Yeah, that was obviously big time for you guys to get that first round playoff win and do it with so much offense in that game. Going into Wednesday night second round playoff game, what are some areas that you feel like this team can maybe still even improve upon to get another playoff win and keep advancing?
I think we just need to keep playing pretty soccer and connecting passes. We put together a lot of scrappy goals, but it'd be nice to, play clean and fast.
Now, when you say scrappy goals, do you mean like knocking in a loose ball in front of the net as opposed to maybe like a beautiful 30-yard free kick right into the upper 90? Like, what kind of, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, we just want we want to connect more passes and before we take the shot type thing.
So Natalie, I know you're not maybe big on the individual stats, but you hold the record now for goals, right, at Temecula Valley?
Mm-hmm.
Does it just blow you away sometimes? Do you think about that and say, like, wow, I've got more goals than anybody in the history of the school? Or like you said, is it just maybe a credit to the players around you and maybe the coaching you're receiving?
I think both. It's just kind of crazy. It's not really something you think about, and then it's kind of there. And so I think, like, now that we kind of hit it, it's just moving forward. How can we keep winning?
All right, Natalie. So obviously 3 goals is a hat trick. So how many times can you remember in your soccer career have you had at least 3 goals in one match?
It's maybe 8 games, 8-ish. It's not super common.
And what's the most you've had in a game? You had 4 in that first playoff win. What's the most you've had in your career? Maybe even going back to like youth club days or something like that.
I mean, maybe in rec, quite a few, more than 4. But recently, 4 is the top.
Obviously that was a great game. 4 goals for you guys to win in the first round and advance in the CIF Southern Section playoffs. It sounds like, based on practice behind you guys are really enjoying this ride. How fun has this been? I know you're a senior. Are you trying to soak it all in? And how fun has this been?
It's been awesome. I love this team so much. Our locker room is so fun. I think that's kind of what brought us out. And then our home environment for home games is the best.
All right, so what's the message out there to maybe some of the fans in the Temecula area? You want to see everybody out there at Temecula Valley High School rooting you guys on?
Yeah, we want it to be loud. We want to help support us and keep us winning.
Well, Natalie, congratulations on that first playoff win. Hopefully you guys can string together a couple more wins and make a run to that championship match. Really appreciate the time. And congrats on the goal scoring record, 30 goals and counting this season for Natalie Mitchell. So thank you, Natalie. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, that's Natalie Mitchell from Temecula Valley Girls Soccer here on the Inland Sports Show. All right, so that was Natalie Mitchell breaking down her historic record-breaking season for the Temecula Valley girls soccer team. That leads us into our Big Boost play of the week, and it also comes from the soccer pitch from Tuesday night, a game that we had live on IEMG. It was Riverside Poly on the road at Arroyo Valley in the Division IV second round boys soccer playoffs. And this happened. It was 10 seconds into the match. Here is the opening kickoff for the Riverside Poly Bears, and the Bears go quickly to work. Spencer McCree to Andres Aceves. There is McCree. There is Aceves on the other end, and that is a Riverside Poly goal just 10 seconds into the match. The Bears would go on to win by final score of 2-0, and they move on to the quarterfinals. They will host a game on Friday. That is the Big Boost play of the week, and what a play it was. All right, we'll take our first break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, we've got more girls soccer as we check in with Santiago girls coach Mike Fleming as the Sharks have another big game in the D1 playoffs. We had Temecula Valley in Division 1. We got Santiago in Division 1. If they continue to win, they would meet in the finals. But first things first, they got to get to the championship match. We'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show.
What up, y'all? Boostman here, gonna break you off with a quick 2 cents on being a more mindful athlete. There is power in presence. Being present as an athlete requires giving 100% attention in all that you do. Doing this, we allow all of our preparation to flow through us in order to experience that elevated state called the zone and experience maximum levels of performance. Boostman.
penalty kick shootouts. Gonna see who advances to the next round of the CIF playoffs. Peralta had himself a really good game when he was called upon. Peralta, all the pressure in the world, takes it, and it's stopped by Flores! Jose Flores gets the stop on Emmanuel Peralta, and that's going to do it, folks. Here's your hero for tonight. Jose Flores stops the last penalty kick, and Arroyo Valley gets the win tonight, 1-0 on penalty kick.
And that was a crazy finish between Cajon and Arroyo Valley in the first round of the playoffs, going all the way to a penalty kick shootout, which Arroyo Valley won, and then they met Riverside Poly, and the Bears picking up a big win. You saw that goal in the first 10 seconds of the match in our first segment of the show as the Bears move on to the quarters in Division 4. All right, now we go to girls soccer, and one of the top programs year in and year out is Santiago, and head coach Mike Fleming's got another really good team, the top-ranked team in Division 1, and if they play their cards right, they will end up in another championship match, maybe against Temecula Valley. We'll see. They have to get past Bray Olinda. They are playing them tonight in the second round in Division 1. We had a chance to catch up with head coach Mike Fleming a little bit earlier to talk about this year's team and what it will take to get to the championship match. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. He is the head girls soccer coach for Santiago, the great Mike Fleming. And coach, man, like the sun, rising in the east and setting in the west, Santiago girls soccer in the D1 playoffs, making deep playoff runs. What do you credit the longevity and just being able to be competitive year after year, whether it's the Big 8 League or the CIF playoffs? You guys are always in the hunt.
I think that the main thing is just blessed with a talented core group of soccer players that come in and year out that have bought into our game model and bought into our philosophy as far as soccer players. And, I strongly believe that it has to start with the players first, I think. And we're very fortunate to have the players we have. And then I think secondly is, we have support from our admin, the school's very supportive, the community supportive, but also, when it comes to the coaching aspect, been very fortunate to have a staff that has been together for a long time from top to bottom, and then just recently, Coach Jollier, Cheyenne, he's a local club coach with Future FC, formerly BYSC. He's our technical director, and he has been a huge part of our success as we've continued to stay in Division 1 and be kind of hopefully a mainstay and someone that's competitive. So he's been a huge part as well.
Coach, when you look at the regular season, especially through Big 8 League play, do you feel like there was enough matches where you guys were pushed a little bit, tested, enough that when you got to the D1 playoffs, you feel like, okay, we've had some close matches. We found ways to win those close matches. We're ready to play some really good teams, like your first one against Huntington Beach. I think you're on the road at Bray Olinda. How would you, when you look at the regular season, how did that prepare you for this playoff run in D1?
Yeah, it's one of the things we try to do. We deliberately try to play a tough Division 1 heavy preseason, kind of a pre-CIF preseason. We were able to play J. Sarah, we played Los Al, played Mater Dei, played Temecula, and they're all doing great right now. So that's the first part that prepares us for league. And then league is always fun because then you've got your inter-district rivalries between schools, and all the girls know each other. And Norco pushed us with the stellar back line and great goalkeeping, just being athletic. We had some tight matches with them. King, of course. They pushed us. Roosevelt, we were down 2-0 to Roosevelt in the second game in the second round of league at their place in a must-win game. We lose that game, we're tied for first, and they have the tiebreaker. So we found a way to keep our composure, and we managed to kind of 5 unanswered goals. So absolutely, league preseason's always prepared us. So we'd rather play anybody, and even if it makes us absorb a loss, we'd rather do that than get some easy wins, if you will, and not really feel battle tested.
Coach, let's do some name dropping. Who are, and I don't want to leave anybody out, but maybe some of the seniors or your captains. Who are some of the players that have really come up big for you, whether it's on the offensive end, goalkeeping, defense on the back line? Who are some of the players that have really, stepped up this season for you?
We're fortunate. We have a total of 13 seniors this year, so that means not only the maturity level, just age-wise. And that's one of the unique things about high school soccer. You get girls, if you got freshmen on the team, 14 years old all the way up to, 18. So there's that big maturity gap. So, we have 13 seniors on the team, and they've been instrumental just helping girls with learning the ropes, understanding what the process is, understanding what the program's about. One player that's been really huge is Sammy Salinas as a midfielder. She knows and understands the program. She's been on the varsity team for 4 years. She's been a huge mainstay for us in the midfield and has really stepped up. Another one would be KT, as everyone calls her, but Caitlin Taylor. She's done magnificently, filling right into that spot and that void we have when Autumn Tompkins left up top. So those are two players in the middle, and then Haley Clark has been a mainstay as our center back as a senior, as well as our two goalkeepers. Those are just a couple players off the top of my head. But in reality, I think our success as a team really comes from not just one or two players, but I know it sounds so cliche, but really trying to find the best players for those 11 spots and having 11 great players in one specific position to where you have 11 great players on the field all contributing to each other. And I think that's what's helped us this year is our balance and just the consistency.
Coach, being ranked so high throughout the entire season in the weekly CIF Southern Section poll, obviously when you got big time matches against Norco and King and Roosevelt, on a weekly basis, and there's some games right in front of you that you have to put all your attention to, but do you at least kind of look at the top 10? You're like, okay, we see this team, we see that team, we got to at least see what's on the horizon in terms of what's coming up in the playoffs. Do you keep tabs on maybe some of these other programs like a Brea Olinda that you're going to see now, that before you get to the playoffs, you kind of know what's already going on?
Well, that's one of the reasons we play the preseason schedule we do. We want to challenge ourselves so that when we get to playoffs, it's not a surprise when you see a Los Al or you see a Mater Dei or you run into a Huntington Beach, who comes from arguably one of the toughest leagues in the Southern Section with Los Al, Edison, Corona Del Mar, Huntington Beach, all in that same league. So it's cliche to say we take it one game at a time, but of course, as coaches, we're always, you always try to measure yourself with where you're at. We don't really buy in too much into the rankings because that's just for posterity and just for conversation for fans and such. But ultimately, playing a team like Temecula early in the preseason, well, that helps us. We go down to their place, and Temecula is always a tough team. Right now they're blowing through their season as well. And, you always want to play those teams. So A, you can figure out where you're at, and then B, if it's not where you want to be, you can fix the things that need to be fixed when you're into this part of the season where if you lose, you're out.
All right, Coach, let's finish it up like this. Full disclosure, we're pre-recording this interview because you guys will be on the pitch the same time the Inland Sports Show is airing. But finish this sentence. In order for Santiago to beat Brea Olinda and advance in the D1 playoffs, the Sharks must, and complete the sentence.
Maintain our game model in terms of how we play and execute what we want to do. Dictate the play with what we're doing, not so much responding to what they're doing. Ask questions of them and force them to solve them, and hopefully they can't solve as many as we can.
That is always the plan, right, as the head coach.
Right.
Coach Fleming, listen, thank you so much for your time. And again, I'll be on the air as you guys are on the pitch, and hopefully you guys continue to win. If you continue to win, we'll have to keep bringing you back, and maybe some of your players as well, hopefully with some hardware at the end of the season.
That's the hope, but, one game at a time. So, we'll see where we're at.
That is Mike Fleming, everybody, from Santiago Girls Soccer here on the Inland Sports Show. All right, that was head coach Mike Fleming from Santiago as the Sharks making another run in Division I. They won the 2020 Division I CIF Southern Section Championship. Made a great run in 2021, ran into a really good Harvard Westlake team. But now, tonight, as we're doing the show, if you're watching us live on Wednesday night, they're on the pitch right now taking on Bray Olinda. All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show. We're going to turn our attention to girls basketball. The Ramona girls basketball team grinded out a first-round playoff win. Can they do it again against a very good Pacifica Christian team coming up tonight? The Rams are going on the floor, if you're watching us live, in about 30 minutes as the Rams try to advance in the playoffs. We'll hear from head coach Brandon Fletcher when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show.
What up, y'all? Boostman here with another 2 cent on being a more mindful athlete. Consider all aspects of your development that you're not giving your full attention to. Maybe it's your diet, mobility, rest and recovery, or strength and conditioning. Once you identify this, I guarantee you will unlock new levels of progress, new levels of growth, and ultimately higher levels of performance. Boostman.
The #1 sporting goods store in the Inland Empire is Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco. Whether you need new uniforms for the entire team, a Letterman's jacket, or new cleats for the upcoming season, check out Ken's Sporting Goods. Plus, now you can order masks with your favorite team, school, business, and more. Order for your entire team or organization. Visit kensportinggoods.com for more information and for the latest on the big sales. Make sure to follow Ken's Sporting Goods on Instagram and Twitter. So if you need team uniforms or sports gear, there's only one place to go in the Inland Empire. That's Ken's Sporting Goods.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Pep Fernandez from the Inland Sports Show. I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for your support over the last several years. In fact, we're going on year number 8 of the Inland Sports Show. It has certainly changed and evolved over the years, and you guys have been along for the entire journey. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We're on social media, so if you're already following us or subscribing, great. But you can also tell your teammates, your people at school, your family, your friends. There's the Inland Sports YouTube channel, approaching 2 million views. We got several thousand subscribers. We appreciate it. And make sure you share with other folks who might not be subscribing. Same goes for Twitter. We're on Twitter as well. And if you're looking for immediate results, breaking news, we post pictures and shorter videos. Check us out on Twitter. That's Inland_Sports on Twitter. And we're also on Facebook. Yeah, we're still doing Facebook. In fact, we live stream the Inland Sports Show on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, you can check it out there live on Wednesday nights at 6:05 p.m. We're also on the Gram, the IG. If you want to see pictures and shorter videos from a lot of the games and events that we go to, you can check it out on Instagram. So if you support us by following along on social media, thank you so much. And if you'd like to take that to the next level, Inland Sports also has a Venmo account. If you'd like to financially support the show, you appreciate the service we provide to the IE, you can do that as well. Again, this is just an opportunity to say thank you to all you guys out there who follow the Inland Sports Show. You watch the Inland Sports Show each and every week. Thank you guys so much, and the best is yet to come.
He had just one field goal in the game. Right now he's 5 of 8 from the floor, 14 points. The putback is good. Are you serious? Taryn Armstrong did it again. Wow. And the steal. Trey Armstrong up ahead to Taryn. Lobs it to Dan Hawkins. What a way way to finish out homecoming.
And that was CBU men's basketball with a big win against the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. And again, we're doing the Inland Sports Show a little pre-recorded on this Wednesday night because I'll be out at the CBU Event Center calling the game. Lancers taking on Grand Canyon tonight on ESPN+. You can join me at 7 p.m. All right, our next guest here on the Inland Sports Show. We're still talking more basketball here. Ramona High School girls basketball. They've had some great championship runs, and head coach Brandon Fletcher likes his team. And even though all season long they have not been winning pretty, they have been still winning, and they're grinding out wins. They're finding ways to win. They did it in the opening round. They beat their first round opponent 29-23. But tonight, they're taking on Pacifica Christian from Orange County, and that's going to be an even tougher task for Ram High. But here is head coach Brandon Fletcher talking about this year's group, and they're finding ways to win. Here is Coach Fletcher. Joining us on the Inland Sports Show, he is the head coach for the Ramona Rams girls basketball team as the playoff run continues for Brandon Fletcher and Ram High. First off, Coach Fletcher, congrats on getting that first round win. I wasn't there. I'm assuming it wasn't pretty because it was 29-23, but you got the win and you moved on, and that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we play a brand of basketball that just wants to grind people out, and we don't need to win pretty. We just need to win, and that's just what we're focused on, is just getting the job done, however it has to be done. And that's just kind of the way that we play since I've been here. And you've seen enough of our games, and you know a little bit about us. So that's how we play, and I don't mind that one bit. I love grinded out, rock fight type of games, and I actually feel more comfortable in that element than anything else. So it was a battle. It was just kind of a weird atmosphere traveling to this little small school in Victorville and having to play early on a Friday when it should have been Saturday later. It was set up for something like that. Both teams just played really, really hard. Both teams wanted to win the game, and we were fortunate enough to make enough plays down the stretch to come out on top.
Well, Coach, I mean, you can look at this game and you can think, okay, we only scored 29 points, but in the big scheme of things, you guys did hold the other team to just 23. So when you look at a game like this, you just try to find those positives like that. Like you said, it was a good win.
We look at what we were trying to do game plan wise. We got a lot of good shots. We missed a lot of shots. We turned the ball over more than we wanted to. But what we tried to do to them, we were able to execute defensively. We wanted to hold them on the perimeter. We didn't want to give them a second chance. We did that. And those are the types of things that when you're trying to win playoff games, really executing defensively is where you really need to be perfect. And we were able to play a good defensive game plan. We got good contributions from a lot of different people in the fourth quarter that got an opportunity to step up and play. And so I was fairly pleased with what we were trying to do defensively. We executed that part well. Offense has been a struggle for us all year, and that's just something that when we look at whenever our offseason starts, hopefully later than sooner, that we're going to address and we're going to get better at. But I mean, I really like how defensively we were able to hold them to the shots we wanted them to take.
Well, Coach, it doesn't matter the sport. I always feel like defense wins championships. So, if you had to pick one or the other, would you go with defense over offense?
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's what I've always preached since I've been here at Ramona. That's what I grew up with. And you got to be able to defend and rebound to keep you in games, and you just play good enough offense to win the game. Especially in the playoffs, it doesn't matter if you win by 2 or 200. You just got to have more points than the other team. So if the other team scores 23, you only need 24 points to move on. And it's at this stage of the game, it's survive in advance. So you get those 24 points and you count, you thank the good Lord and count your blessings, and you move on to the next game.
And is that kind of the message to the girls? Hey, listen, girls, it doesn't matter if we score 100 or we score 29. A win's a win. Find a way.
We find a way to win. We find a way to make something out of nothing. And we've been that kind of team this year too. We played a lot of games like that, and we've had to kind of figure out how to get things done at the end. And things don't go our way. Things are they're disjointed and sloppy, but you still have to go win a game. And we've been able to figure out how to win those types of games. We're like, we probably should beat this team by 30 points, but we're up 5 with 2 minutes to go. You still got to figure out. You still got to stay composed and figure out how to win.
Coach, did you have some of those games during the regular season that you can kind of maybe fall back on and be like, hey, guys, we've been here before. We know how to figure this out. It might not be pretty. The baskets might not be falling, but we've been here before, and we got the job done. So have you had those experiences during the regular season so that now that you're in the playoffs, you feel confident about it?
I think every one of our wins was like that, except for maybe like 2. Our first win against El Monte, it was 34-31 or something like that, and we had to figure it out late. And all of our league wins were like that, where it was close late, and we had to figure it out at the end. That last game versus Arlington, where we had to win that game to get in. That's the type of game that it was, where late in the game we had to buckle down and dig deep, and the distance between us and them late in the game to figure it out. And then they made a little run, and then we had to buckle down again to get a couple stops and end the game and make a couple free throws late. So, yeah, we've had these types of games all year, and this is how we won games. So we're a little comfortable in that area.
Do you feel like for your team, for Ramona, that the playoffs had already started, like at the end of the regular season, like you said, to get a couple wins down the stretch and make sure you get into the postseason?
Yeah, the league felt like a playoff game the whole time. We talked about it's 6 and get in. If you get 6 wins in our 16 league, you're pretty much guaranteed a spot. We got the first couple right away, and then we dropped a couple, and then all of a sudden, we're looking at, all right, we got to win these games. It felt like a playoff game almost every night. So I don't think the atmosphere and the stakes of the game, kind of the pressure of it, doesn't necessarily phase us if we weren't tested like that. So it serves us well for times like these. I try to prep us for moments like that throughout the entire year. So we're not overwhelmed with the magnitude of the moment that we're in. We can stay in the moment and just focus on trying to execute the best we can.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like you guys are battle tested. Coach, last question before I let you go get back to practice. Full disclosure, we're pre-recording this interview because you guys are playing just about the same time as the Inland Sports Show airs. But I think I know the answer to this question. But what do you guys need to do to beat Pacifica Christian on Wednesday night and continue to advance?
We're playing a team that's absolutely outstanding. This is one of the best teams that I've seen in quite a while. I'm not talking just this year, but I'm talking about in 2 years. And for them to be in our division is kind of one of those things where we're running into a team that could legitimately be a high seed in Division 2 or Division 1. That's how good this team is. We have to play really, really well. Like we have to stick to our game plan. We have to execute defensively. We have to make some more shots. If we get good shots on offense, we put them down and try to disrupt their flow, because they're a flow and timing and rhythm type of team, and we're going to try to disrupt them as much as possible. And if we can do that and kind of frustrate them with the flow, and we can chop it up a little bit and kind of make them take lower percentage shots and make their offense a lower percentage offense, then we got a shot to win on Wednesday, and that's what we're going to try.
Chop it up, make it dirty, grind it out.
Yep.
Right?
We're going to try to put him through a meat grinder and see what we can do.
That is awesome. Brandon Fletcher, head coach for the Ramona High School girls basketball team, join us here on the Inland Sports Show. Coach, always appreciate the time. I know you're a big Sacramento Kings fan. I know we share that as well. Times have been hard, but at least you got the girls basketball team at Ram High, because at least they're winning.
Hey, always. This is my 7th year here. We've been to the playoffs 4 times. We've won 11 playoff games. We're 4-0 in the first round. It's always, what we're doing here, and we're going to keep getting better. The years that are going to precede this are going to be even better. A lot of good things for Ram High coming up here. And yeah, it's been way too long that we've talked, so we got to do this more often.
We definitely do. That is Coach Fletcher for Ram High as they get ready for their second round game against Pacifica Christian here on the Inland Sports Show. Thanks so much for the time, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so that was Brandon Fletcher, the head girls basketball coach from Ramona High School. They're actually playing tonight, trying to advance in the CIF Southern Section playoffs. Let's move along to the Kin Sporting Goods must-see game. It actually happened last night. On Tuesday night, it was Roosevelt and Riverside Poly in boys basketball. action, and what a great game it was. In fact, they played earlier in the season, and it was a big blowout win for Riverside Poly, but this time around, much closer, but Poly still gets the win. 57-51 the final score. So the Bears move on in the Division I playoff. They will actually play St. Bernard from Playa del Rey in the D1 quarterfinals coming up. So congratulations to the Riverside Poly Bears. All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we've got another interview with RCC baseball skipper Rudy Arguelles, and we'll take a look at some of those county clash games coming up at San Manuel Stadium. We'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Pep Fernandez at the Boost Performance Center with the one and only Ray Bass, the Boost Man. And Ray, very exciting in this Gridiron Question Series. We've got some great questions because you're the guy with the answers. So, Ray, our first Gridiron question is, there's a lot of great athletes from different sports that come here to the Boost Performance Center. What about the girls out there? There's a lot of boys here at Boost, but just for the girls as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, girls can absolutely benefit. From my 10 years of experience working with youth athletes, one of the things that I see is I don't see as many girls participating in a robust strength and conditioning program like you see boy athletes do. And the reality is that they work just as hard, if not harder, than boys do. And this is one of the reasons why you have higher instances of injuries with girl athletes, like ACL tears. And it really boils down to proper movement mechanics and getting stronger. And now when I talk about getting stronger, I'm talking about cleaning, pressing, squatting and deadlifting, all of those big lifts that can help you not only become more durable, but helps you become a better overall athlete. Girl athletes benefit from that type of training just as much as boys do.
Man, that was awesome, Ray. Thank you so much. And if there's a parent out there watching this right now and they've got a question for the Boost Man, make sure you're following Boost Training on social media. You can also send us a question. We'd love to hear from you. So until next time, we'll see you with another Gridiron question here from Boost Training.
It's like they say, there's nothing like winning a Super Bowl. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, and the Rams, if they play their cards right, they're going to have everybody back. They're going to get the band back together. They'll make another run. I think the NFC, it's hard to predict what the NFC might look like next year. We don't know where Aaron Rodgers is going to be in Green Bay. Tom Brady, for now, is not a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Like, the NFC could be wide open next year because we just don't know. Are the Packers going to be the Packers? Will the Bucs be the Bucs? It could be up for grabs, and the Rams should be the favorite going into next year if we're looking ahead that far.
Is it going to be the Dodgers, Lakers, Rams parade?
No, all in together. Yeah, you guys are exactly right, man. Dodger fans didn't get to celebrate their World Series title, and the Lakers, they won the NBA title in the bubble season, I guess as we'll always call it when we look back on history. And they didn't get a real, send off, a big parade or celebration or rallied in downtown. So maybe this will be everyone's going to be flying their own colors at this big LA championship, celebration that's going to be coming up for the Rams. Guys, I did want to point out too, you mentioned Eric Weddle. I've got to point out Dante Dion. He is from Summit High School in Fontana, DB for the Rams, also winning the Super Bowl. And the long snapper for the Rams, Matt Orzek, Paloma Valley High School grad from Menifee. So he also won a Super Bowl championship. So we had several IE guys on this Rams team winning the championship. And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. The Riverside City College baseball team is off to a hot start this season, including a no-hitter for the Tigers. We had a chance to catch up with Tigers skipper Rudy Arguelles to talk about the strong start to the season and his expectations for this really good Tigers team. How far can they go? Can they win a league title? Can they make a championship run? Here is Coach Arguelles. And now joining us here on the Inland Sports Show, he is the skipper for your RCC Tigers, the great Rudy Arguelles. And Coach, first off, thank you for jumping on the Inland Sports Show. As we catch up with you for this interview, you actually are at practice right now, and you guys are off to a hot start this season. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's like 7 in a row for RCC right now, but what do you attribute to this great start for Riverside City College?
It's a cumulative of a bunch of things, to be honest with you, Pep. We got a competitive squad. I think we got a tremendous amount of depth. And anytime you can pitch and play some solid defense with some timely hitting, it's usually a pretty good formula to be able to amount some numbers in that W column, and that's kind of what's happening right now. And we know it's early. Got to clean up a little bit of things that, has shown and presented itself early here. But, we're excited. We're excited to keep competing, keep having opportunities against competitive opponents, and see what kind of run we can make.
Now, Coach, when you say you guys can pitch a little bit, I think I saw you have a combined no-hitter earlier this season, a couple games ago. Talk about that no-hitter that you guys already saw, and maybe you're not surprised. Maybe you feel like you got some good pitchers on your staff, and on any given night you guys could go out there and do that to another team.
I don't know about a no-hitter, but I think we can actually, be very, very competitive. And again, back that up with some solid defense. But that night was special. I think anytime you throw a no-hitter, I don't care what level you're, it's special. Some things have to bounce your way. And it did that night, with John Markerman, started off a little bit shaky with his command and then really dialed it in and was dominating, really attacking the zone, and then brought in, Chaz McWilliams to finish it up. And, he started where Mark kind of left off and finished the job. We had a no-hitter on our hands. And again, it's special anytime you can do that. The crazy part about that, Pep, was we followed that up with a 4-hit shutout the previous day, so if we can continue to build that with our staff and put together those types of performances, it has a chance to be pretty special.
All right, Coach, you've been around a lot of baseball. So how many, as a player or a coach, how many no-hitters have you been a part of?
Oh, man. 2.
Oh, that was easy.
2.
So as a player, as a coach, what can you tell me about those 2 no-nos that you saw or were part of?
Both here at this level, both as a coach, one, Ryan Wing, who, had a special special career here, and was this close to the big leagues. Had a little bit of time in Japan, was on the 40-man. Injury derailed, and there was no question he was going to make it to the bigs. But he threw one here, and it was absolutely a special time when he did that. And then these guys combining with Lockerman and McWilliams. That's the second time I've been a part of a no-hitter here, and again, they're unique, it's special, and it doesn't matter, like I said, what level you do it at.
Well, Coach, let's talk about the rest of the season. Obviously, a great start for the Tigers, but you said, hey, there's still areas that we can get better. We can still clean up. We can still improve. What are some of those areas that you feel like this team can still improve upon, and maybe still has time to peak and reach even further potential down the road?
We got to clean up base running, and with that, we're aggressive. It's part of our philosophy. You got personnel where you got some team speed. We want to utilize that. It's part of our mantra and our makeup. We're going to be aggressive and relentless. So with that, there's going to be mistakes, being made early because we're overly aggressive. But, I'll go back to the old John Scalinas and Dennis Rogers used to say, hey, I'd rather tame a wild Mustang than kick that donkey butt on a daily, and it's a good problem to have. We see that as a good problem to have, but it allows, when those mistakes are made, it allows for a lot of teaching moments, and that's the good thing about this club with the depth that we have. They really want to learn. They really do want to learn. They're beyond competitive, which is a great trait to have as well. And anytime you have that type of depth and that type of mentality, you're going to have a chance to have a pretty successful season. And we think that's on the horizon.
It sure looks like it. Coach, before I let you go, I just wanted to ask you, looking at the last couple of seasons, obviously nothing has been normal in the world because of COVID, but does this baseball season feel almost like it's back to normal? Does it feel a little bit more customary that you were used to, pre-pandemic? Because I don't know, I go to a lot of high school games and whatnot, and I almost feel like it feels normal again. We got fans and there's cheering, and it kind of feels like we're back to what local sports should be. But how do you feel from the coaching perspective?
I'm to be honest with you, I'm probably a little guarded still. Still a little frustrated with how everything kind of rolled out. And, we had our opportunity to talk, and again, grateful for having us, on the show, and appreciate what you bring to our community. It's incredible and awesome. But I'm probably a little bit guarded with the scenario and things that we've had to deal with. And we're a little bit different. We have had to deal with a little bit more obstacles than I would say everybody else, especially within our conference. But yeah, we are exciting. And I'll tell you what, anybody who was at that game on Saturday, I've shared with my wife and, colleagues and coaching staff and players that if there was ever a sense of, just a regular normal feeling going on where, hey, you let emotions go and the excitement, the competitiveness, everything you wanted in a game, it was really in that game Saturday, and probably experienced that there where it was like, wow, there's some normalcy definitely going on, and hopefully we can sustain that throughout.
And Coach, I would imagine just a sense of gratitude, right? Just being out there with the guys, your coaching staff, the players, just to be out there and, going through the rigmarole of a normal season, right? Without hopefully having any, like you said, obstacles or things down the road that you guys have to maneuver with. But I don't know. It looks like so far so good for you guys, right?
Yeah, we hope so. Like I said, we hope so. Be out here every day, like I said, with the guys, with the staff, being on the road, traveling, competing, all the nuances that go. So we're appreciative, we're grateful, and I think that's part of why the guys are responding the way they are. They've had to deal with the adversity, they've had to deal with things being taken away from them. So the appreciation, right? The intent is there on a daily basis, and try to get them to really, truly understand what it means to have that purpose each and every day, because nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah, we all found out the hard way in 2020. Coach Rudy Arguelles, thank you so much for your time. Go Tigers, and best of luck the rest of the season, Coach.
Pep, can't thank you enough, man. You're awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate it. That is RCC skipper Rudy Arguelles here on the Inland Sports Show. All right, that was RCC skipper Rudy Arguelles here on the Inland Sports Show. Before we wrap things up, another quick baseball note. The County Clash is returning to San Manuel Stadium this season. And in fact, we've got several County Clash days at the home of the Inland Empire 66ers. Beginning on March 19th, it'll be all Citrus Belt League. The nightcap was Citrus Valley versus Ukaiba. That should be a good one. Then a couple more in April. We've got on April 2nd, a little mix of CBL and Arrowhead Athletic Conference games. Summit versus Rupa Hills, Cajon, and Citrus Valley. A rematch of that Division 5 championship game from a year ago. And Colton versus Arroyo Valley will be the nightcap on that one. And then on April 16th, it will be all Big 8. The land of the Big 8 will invade San Manuel Stadium, and it's a doozy in the first one. King and Corona right out of the gate. That'll be a huge game, and those are your County Clash games scheduled for this upcoming high school baseball season. And make sure you keep it tuned to Inland Sports, and we might even live stream some games on IEMG. That's the IE Media Group YouTube channel as well. We appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow on all of our social media platforms. And again, if you're watching us live and amplified right now, head on over to ESPN Plus, 7 o'clock. I'll have the call. CBU taking on Grand Canyon University. We'll be back in the Teen Vision TV 16 studio next Wednesday. But until then, stay safe out there. God bless you. And have a great rest of your week. I'm Pep Fernandez, and we'll see you next time on the Inland Sports Show.